And welcome back to another fantastic episode of Real World Maps for You. I've redone everything I did last time because, we'll get into that, but basically, welcome to the Fenlands. My God. I spent 16 hours on this map before I realised it wasn't going to work out for various reasons. But I learnt so much about this area of Cambridgeshire. In particular, all of that white area. Huh? What's with that? Yeah, well, it doesn't help you create a map. And all the lines that are on here drove me insane. Lost even more hair. But, yeah, g'day. I'm Stephen Spry, and this was doing my head in big time. Because the Fenlands are, what can I say, they are a very low marshy area that several hundred years ago was reclaimed by man. And it's got drainage canals all over it to dry out the land. And funny thing was that once they did that, and the peat, all that white area supposedly peat, once it started drying out, it dropped even further. Fascinating. But there are little islands, as you can see, in the Fens, and this is where man has done his thing. Right. You didn't expect to learn anything historical when you're doing this map, did you? No, I didn't. But we've got canals, not the sort that you have canal boats on. These are just drainage canals. Canalisation, love that word. But we've got to do something about this because all of that gravelly area is not conducive to helping us do anything with this map. No. But everything else is fine. So all I've got to do is, well, okay. First things first, I repositioned the map. Right, let's have a look at that, shall we? So there's the new map. Now you might remember last time I had it coming down to just under the bottom of that lake. That corner was over here. Whoops. Come on, zoom in so that people can see it. Yeah, I did have it over here. So I had that corner over here. Why did you move it? Well, for several reasons. The main one is, Warboys needed another town. I discovered there just weren't enough towns on this map to make the game play properly, because basically there were Piddly little town, Somersham, Chatteris, Doddington, Wimbledon and March, and that was it. Yeah, I know, right? So I thought, we need extra towns. Here we go, Warboys, ta-da. And I think with a bit of fiddling, I can fix Benwick. I can get Benwick, whatever it's called, in as well. We can do that later. Bit of magic of editing. So that gives us a couple more towns, and the good thing is it also gives us some targets, some end routes for that road. And for that matter, for that road, which our residents are going to need. But more importantly, remember, we're diving back to 1890 in the National Library of Scotland maps, because there is a railway line that goes from Somersham up to March, which you can pretty well see here. Yes. There's also a line that heads out straight through the middle of the golf course. There it is. That's it. Right there. Yep. Right. And comes in up around here, because that's the old railway line that went into Ramsey. Aha. What are you doing with all the clicking? Oh, look, I don't know. It's driving me insane trying to use this. Well, bloody Google Maps. Tell you what. See all the canals? Look at all the canals. Huh? What are you going to do about that? Oh, I don't know. This was a problem. Let's have a look at OpenStreetMap and see if that makes any more sense of this area. Okay, does that make any more sense? I think it highlights the main roads better, which is one of the problems you had. I know, trying to work out what was road and what was drain, especially when you get in here, because all of these little damn lines showed up on my height map. And what are you going to do about the drains? Don't know. These main ones I'm going to include. All of the little ones, painful. Probably nothing. I think we'll have a look at, God, look at this. The drainage these guys put into these areas, and they keep redoing it, and oh my God. Okay, but it has turned it into one of the most fertile areas in England, so there's good. And there, airports. Yes, I did notice with this open street map that there were a couple of airfields, like White Fen Farm airstrip, right? Okay, so there we go. The other thing, I did include the 20-foot river here as my margin for the top of the map. I went just under it because that was a real pain to put in. So another drain. So it doesn't exist like that anymore. All right. Oh, you've gone too far. I know. And I worked out what all of these things are down here. Various forms of fisheries. Go figure. Okay, so our map boundary is now just through here, just so that I could get the Chatteris Road in, and across the bottom of Pidley. Good name for a town. Lovely name for a town. Over to include Warboys, which is a reasonable sized town, and then up, basically along through here, so that we can get the old railway station in, which was basically here, and the old brickworks. Because trying to find things here, all I could find was quarries and farms, obviously, lots of farms. So I think what we need is these external connections on the edges of the map that we can use to import all the things that the game requires, like, coal and steel and blah, blah, blah. So we could set up some coal imports down here and steel up near March, and we could ship. Sounds great to me. All right, so what's next? Okay, let's head over to Transport Fever. And, my gosh. Yeah, look, the other thing I wanted to show you, absolutely fascinating. Have a look at the topo map. Where is it? Where's the bit you want to show? Not there. Leave it on that. Good. Okay. You can see all the old river courses flowing through here. Now, they're not anymore. Maybe in flood, I don't know. But these things confuse the daylights out of me when I'm trying to work what's a road and what isn't. I mean, it's pretty obvious here, but when you get out into the Fens, it's all good fun. I'm not complaining. I'm just, after dealing with Brisbane and all of those streets, I knew a street was a street was a street, but here, I have no idea what all of these things are. Not coming from the area and not knowing anything about the area, it was very puzzling. So the first thing I'm going to do, you saw me do this with the original height map to get rid of all of this, was to, what the hell, there we go, over there, right? March height map, no, what? Brisbane, no. Shrewsbury, what's Shrewsbury? No. Bluebell, couple in progress here. But let's have a look at March redone. And I'm going to go from 5 to, I'll cheat somewhat and tell it to go to 100. I think last time, the first time around, I went to 75. The interesting thing about the 5, I didn't realise that most of this area is at or below sea level, so I'm helping lift up the peat bog. Good on you, Stephen. You're a bloody legend. Okay, I'm going to import that, and that should now get rid of all of this white area. So from the game's purpose, yeah, that looks better. And it should be easier for me to find lines too. Yeah, right. Should be, I said. Well, look, come down to the bottom of the map here. Where the hell's Somersham? Somersham's here. Right. There we go. There's Somersham. Right, there's the nature reserve, and no, here's Somersham, right there. Can barely see it, but you can see it enough to put the main roads and everything in. Barely. That's all you need. Okay. Right. So the next step, normally I start off with the waterways. Not today. The next step is to find the roads and the rail line. And the good thing about this is, if I come into Somersham here, see the dotted line? Whoa, sort of. Maybe. Right, looking at the wrong one, Stephen. This one. There's still a line where the railway line used to go. Gets a bit lost. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's fine. No, it does. That's, yep, that's where the railway line used to go. And there's still a glitch in the matrix where that was, which shows up on the height map, which is pretty cool. Loses it somewhere around here because it sort of goes there, I think. You'll sort it out. I know I will. But, okay. Lost that horrible drain across the top. God, that was terrible. Pain to put in. All right. I'll be back shortly with, let's have a quick look. We'll do this again, will we? Okay, yep. We'll do this again. Let's have a quick look at the map as it looks now that we've lifted sea level. Oh God, rising sea levels, must be all sorts of things going on here. Actually, you didn't lift the sea level, you goose, you lifted the land level. I'm a freaking geologist and I didn't know it. But there we go. That's what I've got to work with. Okay. I'll come back with the road and rail, maybe, version of this in a few hours for me, in a few minutes for you. Fingers aren't working. Hang on, try again. In a few minutes for you. And look at that, we're back. 18.7 hours later. Magic of editing, I love it. Right, there's our map so far. Right. Okay, let's have a quick look at a tour. I'm going to load the high aerial. Sure, why not? Just to get a quick overview of what's going on here. Right, you go down there and hit the go button. And we'll see what this looks like now that I've had the pleasure of operating on all of that. Okay. Is anything going to happen? Oh, look, give it a chance. Give it a chance. It's about to go now. There we go. Nice and slow. I tell you what, that wind noise is making me even colder. Yes. But all sorts of things happening here. Somersham, Piddly, Church End, Mill End, Warboys over here, the old railway line up to Peterborough there. I found a brickworks with a siding down here. All sorts of interesting stuff. There's the nature reserve, right? Drainage canals. Oh my gosh. It's pretty boring though, isn't it? Yeah, I know. We've got to dress this up somehow. That's my next challenge. But we'll get there. We'll get there. There's a few lines around here you've missed. Yeah, I want to show that to you. That's Chatteris. All of these little bits are as it is now in the current time. But what you can see with the roads is as it was in 1890s according to the National Library of Scotland's map. What's with these painted areas? Well, this is the key. That's a park area. This is scrubland. Yeah, yep, okay. Not many forests. These are the forests that I could find. Well, good luck trying to put logging into here somehow. We might be importing logs, I think. We've got a stone quarry there, a brickworks here, an old historical monument house type structure there. Could be interesting. Another park, more quarries, another tiny forest over there. Right, this is going to be very, very interesting. My God, what's going on up? Oh, another quarry, another brickworks. Right, we're up near March. Yep, there's the canal that goes through March. Right, and here's the railway line that exists east to west, and the old yards. Right, yeah. When you're building this, you really should check the historical maps, because this bit that branches off out here, loco workshops, depots, stuff like that. And there we go. Okay, pretty cool, isn't it? If we come down to ground level, it's flat. Right. Flat is the key to this, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to. We've got a lot of dams, yeah, a lot of dams, which are probably. The height is probably a tad exaggerated here, but whatever. These things, my God. Yeah. I'll show you how I build those. All right. This was fun, sort of. All right. Get out of there. And let's build a canal. Right, take that, yes, and then do that, and that, right, and then do that, good. Now, get rid of these ones. So far, so good. Go down, make it just not quite that wide. Go down until we get some water. Thank you. Then get the flattening tool, find the height, and too deep. Make it about 5 metres deep. That'll do. And just whiz along there like so. Right. Yeah, no. Is right. So touch it up. Might as well go over the whole canal. It's easier that way. Right, and jagged edges. Smoothing brush, please. All right. Just, you could do that very carefully. Yes. Or you could do that. Don't like that. All right. Or you could make it soft brush with bigger and just quickly go whiz like so. Now, there are various sections of this canal where there is no towpath or road alongside it. It's just a drainage ditch, right? In which case we can then make it smaller and just very carefully away from the edge, just touch it up and smooth it off, and voila. Sort of. Yeah, sort of. Well, I've still got to obviously touch up this bit here by the looks of it. Yeah, the edges are a bit wonky. I'll come back to all of this. I'm going to smooth all of this out in time. So that's how I put those in. Wow. There was an interesting thing here. It actually goes under that part of Chatteris. I didn't do that. I'll leave that up to your imagination. Right, so let's have a look at Chatteris. This is where we see the streets, is the, as I said, the 1890s version of the streets, right? And all of these are 2020. So we need to get rid of all of those for our purposes because they just are in the way. You can see there's a dotted line around here. That's where the Chatteris bypass, the motorway runs down here somewhere. No motorways here. We're sticking with the 1890s, so we get rid of all of this old stuff so that you can go very historical with this map, with this game. Make it a bit bigger. Yep, so there's Chatteris gone. Oh no, modern Chatteris gone. Careful you don't hit the rivers. No, don't want to hit the rivers. Okay, what else have we got? I marked the town names in here so that we can find them easily, so that we know what the hell we're doing. March, yeah, I already deleted all the streets, the newer streets for March, which are mainly around these areas here. Right, station, bit of ballast to show where the tracks should be. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is there. On the 1890s map it's nothing. It looks like a brickworks or a quarry or something, not a brickworks. Yep, come down, forests, right. Nothing. You missed a bit of paint there, Sport. I did, didn't I? Okay, well, we'll fix that. Probably missed a lot of things. Not enough, just like that. Yep, with a touch of that to clean that up. Good. Right. All of these roads, my God, I have no idea what was going on. War Boys, yeah, here we go. That's 1890s War Boys, and this is all the modern stuff that is now gone. And a lot of these lines, some of these lines, I didn't have a clue what they were. Probably drainage ditches. So come through and clean all of that up. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's only so far you can go. Oh, and down here, Somersham. Yeah, all right, I'll finish off Somersham. Watch the lake. Don't go too close to that dam. All right, I won't. Get rid of all the new streets. Right. This here is a river. It's my way of doing rivers anyway. And basically what I did was I took the narrow country road, the small country road, and placed it in there, right? Smoothed it off, right? And then got the forest ground, yeah, that one, come down to about there. Yeah, full strength, size 18, and just paint over the road like so. Very carefully, try to stay within the boundaries of that road that I've placed there. And hard work, I know. That it? No, not quite. If you want to put trees here, which I will, just to show you, not quite sure exactly what trees I'm going to do down here. I'm thinking that because this is a sort of hilly part of the map, I might put some pretend forests here. If you did, then let's come down and remove the apples and the Scots pines, because I don't want them out in nature, and just keep everything else. Right, make it 75, a bit smaller. Okay, and if we just come along the edge of the road like that, okay. Now, obviously, to do it, if I do it here, I'm just going to build straight over the creek or the river or whatever. So I will probably need to put the road back in so that I can paint this, because now, once you remove the road, you've got sort of what looks like a river-ish happening there. I think that's fairly realistic enough. I've used it a lot on another map that I'm working on. I'll give you a quick look at that shortly. But finally, now that the road's gone, go back to the terrain tool. Light brush, little strength, brush size, bit smaller, and just whiz over it, and that'll get rid of those brown areas. And voila, a watercourse, of course. Okay, so that's one way of doing the rivers, and you could, well, you can't now. Well, if I'd been clever, I could quite easily fill in the gaps here, and we'll put a standard forest in. I'll just smother it. Too many trees. Ah, look, you want too many trees. You wait till you see the next map I want to show you, because there's only 700,000 of them. My God. Yeah, I'll just reduce that strength a little. Too many, so very light, quick dab over that, and yeah, okay, it's a forest. So what we can do is we can use the paintbrush and paint there with the forest ground. And this is a cheaty way of suggesting that there's a forest there. Now it looks fine. And that's what I've got to do with a lot of this area here. Hilly, it's out of the fens, so I'm going to put some trees on there because we need them. Right, okay, where's your railway line? Okay, well, the railway line, let's start with the line from Somersham up to Ramsey, and I think it goes to Peterborough, but there's that, needs painting. Look, I know it needs painting. We can clean it up with a solid brush and just get close to the edge like so. It's too big. And this is how I do a lot of my fake lakes. Yeah, well, this isn't at ground level. This is at, how high above the ground is it? 20 metres. I couldn't go down to real water here because it would have just been far too deep. So we'll do this. That green looks a bit yucky. Well, I know it looks a bit yucky. So you come over and select grass green. Drop the strength right down with the brush on the easy brush and just come around the outside. Obviously, feather it in like so. Doesn't look so yucky now. It's a bit dodgy on the edges there. It's a bloody hole in the ground. Do you want it smooth? Yes, please. Okay, really small, solid, and then just very carefully around the outside. Don't come in too far or you'll do that to the lake. Yeah, see, you buggered it. No, I haven't, because I'm going to come into the lake with the flat and just... Okay, well, there's bound to be bits that are going to be rough. I know how to cover them. Ha ha! Trees. Yes, all right. Careful. Careful. I'm going to put some trees on this hill too, I think. I mean, there is is it Pringle Woods? Or Pingle or something there, so let's add them, because that's why I used that texture. As I was going around the map working out what the hell was going on, I put that texture under those woods there, and I think I'm going to put the texture on top of this hill around the reservoir. Squeeze it in. Yeah, a bit smaller maybe. Just to a bit more strength too. Okay. And there we go. That almost looks half realistic. Right, that's the brickworks. Okay, brickworks. That's this fellow. Is it going to fit in? Is that a combat plan? Yeah. Okay. There's a big hole in the ground there. All right, well, let's make it the same level as the railway line and the station. All right, make it the same level. Right. And put it in. Where's the road? This one is the road. So, spin maybe? Can go into the hill a little ways. Yeah, so this is the next step. I've got to work out where all of these roads go. Can we get rid of the brown bit now? Okie dokie, we sure can. Paint tools. Back over there and make it full strength. Get rid of that and erase paint actually. Okay, find the dirt, make it smaller and hold the shift key down to get rid of the little fingers. And we can do that, I think. And soft brush, just level it out. And more trees. More trees, more trees. Yeah, just to finish it off, get rid of the bank. And I better name this. This is going to be War Boys. Not Where Boys, boy. It's War Boys. Right. Ta-da. Cool. And as you can see, once you start filling it in with some trees, and I'll whack the forests around the outside, but you've got to remember, this area's been cleared of trees hundreds of years ago, because it has. Right, there's a couple of hills. There's a hill through the middle there. Well, there's going to be a forest along there. We need to make the map look pretty. What's that? I have no idea. We'll need to go back to... It could have been a dam, another one of these. I don't know. There's another brickworks here, with the spur on the railway line, so we know what to do. We just keep adding these things on. Right, let's level that off at siding height. Right, and plug that in there on top of that with a shift. Yep, that'll do. Okay, click right. Good. Build anyway. Love the mod. Get rid of the brown. Big eraser and clean that up. Good. Get rid of that bit of road there, please. No, not that bit of road, you goose. Sorry. No, that's the siding. Okay, that's the siding. So this road, this is the road. Where are we going to bring the road? I think we'll bring the road down the side and then curve it around into there. Yes, we are making some concessions over the original map just so that we can hook it all up so the game, oh, wrong one, so the game works properly. Right, you've got to get rid of all of that brown. Okay. There. Now remember, essentially the small country road is the placeholder that I've used for the railway line. However, in this case, I've also used it for the towpath along the drainage canals. I say towpath because they did actually, where is it? Here. There was a dock on there. So they did actually have canal boats running along there, and I have seen pictures up here in March of canal boats on the river. Right. Do we want to make them navigable? Oops, there's a blunder. What do you mean? Look, it's blue, it shouldn't be. Well, you can fix that. Yeah, not that it was much of a, well, it was a blunder. Do we want to make them navigable? How wide does it have to be to make them navigable? All right, let's have a look at this one. All right, navigable is U and U. Let's come down a fair way, please. Navigable is 90 something. That one, 93.6 minimum. Okay. So if I come along there, is that navigable? No. Okay, make it a bit bigger. That is navigable. Right, so if I make that solid at 93.6, yeah, okay, it's sort of, but it's navigable. Do we want to, how would you convert that to navigable? And do we want to? Navigable in the game, that was probably navigable for one canal boat to zoom up and back. All right, let's have a little look at this and see if we keep going straight, how many of these? 1, 2, that's our current system, 3, 4, 5 with one all the way along the edge. I want to do this. This is going to be an interesting job. Oh, it looks much more useful, doesn't it? And again, clean it up with the paintbrush. Just, now down the outside like so. So the question is, people, do we want to turn this, and for that matter, this? Oh, you should have left that drain in then. You chopped that drain out. It went all the way up. It didn't connect to anything anyway. All right. And this, I have to make it twice as wide because at the moment it's not navigable. You let me know if you want these main rivers to be navigable in the game. That one, it actually comes sort of just out of picture and then comes back in. And Benwick, or Benwick, or whatever it's called, that town is actually about here, worse luck. So I moved it, so all of this area here is pretend. I moved it so that it was on the map, so that we could actually have, okay, so we've got Benwick and Warboys and Mill End and Fenton, we can, and Church End. We can include a couple of little hamlets. G'day, Van Ham. Here, just to give us a few more things to play with, a few more places to supply goods to. Right, okay. Over on the edge of the map here, at Warboys Station, well, whack a few sidings in. Okay, this area is flat enough. It's long enough, I think. How long is it? 500 metres long. Whack a few sidings in here and supply some extra, put a tool factory out here as well. Yeah, I know there isn't one here on the map anywhere. It's probably up the line there somewhere at Peterborough. Is that the name of the place? I hope so. But put a tool factory there. We imported coal. We need coal and iron, and for a steelworks, where's the steelworks going to go? I don't know. We could, for game purposes, whack a steelworks in up here. And this yard can serve the steelworks. So we could be bringing coal and stuff in along the east-west line. Who knows? What you could do over here, remember, that's the railway line. What you could be doing over here is building a hell of a big yard. They're a kilometre long. You could be building a yard here, off map, and pretending you could do that there, and probably all the way down. Where the hell is Summersham? Here. You could. There's a hill there. Oh, look, flatten it, just this side. Build some multiple sidings here and have another off-map area linking up so that you can give yourself some train traffic from north to south or from south to west or from south to, where are we going? We are going all the way up through here. Yeah, it doesn't go that way. It only comes into March that way. All right, another one over here, another portal area over there, another yard. You've got room. I don't know. The biggest hassle I've got now, apart from placement of industry, farms are going to be easy. I'm going to put scatter farms all over this. I'm going to put food processing places in Chatteris, Not so much these are smaller. Up in March, and probably down you go. Come on, let's use that instead of the mouse. And probably over here in Warboys. But all the other industries, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The biggest hassle is, I think, how do I make this lot look interesting? Good question. Don't know. I'm going to have to paint farm fields on here. Something that looks similar to the satellite image. Oh my God, no. The satellite map, you're kidding. Yeah, well, it was a patchwork of fields, and I think to make it realistic, we've got to do that. Okay, well, here's another forest. Yay, team. I painted this area on before, so there's another forest, and because I'm feeling generous, I'm going to make all of that forest. Right, and I can make it really thick because I don't need to worry about a tree count on this map. I mean, so far I've used how many assets? 5,600 trees. Right. It's not quite the 700,000 you got on the other one, is it? No. But that forest area, just make sure that you paint it under it all the way, so that if you do decide to come in and thin this out, that you've got that colour underneath, okay? Sure. It's good fun making these maps. There's a whole new swag of problems that I've encountered here, apart from the flat. Here, my God. The swag of problems are lack of trees, right? These portals on the edge, this locality, to make it as realistic as possible, doesn't have the heavy industry on it. So we've got to somehow accommodate that for the game. Don't forget to let me know about that, whether you want these. So which canals would be navigable? That one? Yes. Right. That one across there. Right. We might leave that one as a little... What would be the point of that? I don't know. It all depends where I place industries. Maybe it brings stuff from farms into... We could wangle some sort of central point here so that it interfaces with the railway line and grain comes in and chuffs on up the railway line. I don't know. It's up to you. It's your map. You can do what you damn well like with it at this point in time. Once you've got your hands on it, yeah, make it a bit stronger and it'll go down faster. Terrific, look at that. Where was the, oh, there's another forest. I'll forget the forest. This one, this is the main one through the town. That could be nice. Have a nice navigable canal through the town. Really? Well, there is a narrowboats mod that you can play with. I don't know, I've never used it, but I know there's a narrowboats mod and that you could perhaps try that. What am I going to be shipping? Oh, whatever you like, sir, whatever you like. Okay, you can have farms up here and farms down here, and you can have a central food processing plant probably there. Sounds good. Okay, that's our progress. All I need to know now is, from you lot, is do you want those navigable? Because I've got to place the, industries, that's the word, and paint some fields. I know, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be doing that. I could use field plopper. It's not big enough. Have you got it here? I don't think I do. I don't think I have got field plopper here. Have you? No, you've only got this. Right, and the biggest these go is that, which, seriously, I've got a huge map to cover and you give me that. Yeah, look, for example, okay, and it's probably also not going to line up with that road. Oh, actually, that rotates quite nicely. What you could do is it's going to have, I don't know whether I like this. Okay, so we've got that. What happens if you now want to paint? What colour is that? It's not gravel. It's not coal. Is it soil? Yeah, see? Okay. Right. That's not going to work. Not the way I thought it might. Okay. Save that. Save, please. Thank you. New England roads. Override. Whew. Okay. Special treat. 2 quickies. A quickie. Oh, goody. A quickie. Okay. Load map. I want to show you 2 things that I've been working on. I was thinking about a central town with a whole heap of rail networks coming into it would be an interesting map. So I found one. Shrewsbury. Put your teeth in, lad. Yeah. So I started work on it. Wow. And that took a while to load. Okay, how long have you? 20 hours already on this. Right, okay. Where the flip? This is a 14 by 14 map, by the way. Right, it's the River Severn, which is navigable all the way through. And here's Shrewsbury. Now that I know that I'm using the 1890 maps from the National Library of Scotland, I'm going to be not using all of these streets. Holy crap. Yeah. But that 20 hours so far is just basically working out where these roads were. As you can see, I've got the motorways in. So they will have to be removed once I get into it. But working out where all the rivers run. Yeah, it should be a name of a TV series. Yeah, where all the waterways go. That was intriguing. I did manage to get real water in so far, and then basically carved out the rest of them. So that's underway. I have no idea what those lines are. And there's certain lakes and so on that I need to paint in. So that's could be interesting. It has, I've only done the roads, but this is a railway line that comes in. The old Severn Valley Railway used to come in up here along the river, which I can't see anywhere. And there was another railway line. Here's another railway line, comes in along this bit into town, and that is actually a railway line. Stephen, oh sorry, yep. Oh, you've got it marked. Oh, have I? No, not quite. Okay. That is, oh, right, yes, that's 2 railway lines and a tunnel. Okay. All sorts of things happening here. And over here, railway line coming in, and that's a railway line going out. So I thought, with all sorts of stuff happening through here, the railway line, yeah, and this, I thought, that could be interesting. Oh, stuck up for punishment. Okay, what else we got? And the other map, my God, I have spent 77 hours on so far. This is the one with 700 odd thousand trees. I think the tree count's pretty much done. But this is a suggestion from one of you guys for the Bluebell Railway that runs from Sheffield Park up here, along here, up to East Grinstead. So I went a little bit further. Thanks to the 1890s map, I went a bit further down to Newark and a bit further up to, I've forgotten the name of the place now, Lindfield? I don't know. But pretty country. Lots and lots of pretty country. Horsted Keens, yeah, Danehill. This is the railway line over here still, cruising around, yeah. But look at this beautiful country somewhere in Sussex. I think that's going to be the name of the map. Somewhere in Sussex. Sounds good. Bit of alliteration. But yeah, this used that river painting technique that I showed you before here, right, for all of the rivers, and there are freaking mountains of rivers here. Mountains? Lots of, and beautiful weirs. Absolutely wonderful. Painted rivers, painted water again. Doesn't have to be at sea level. You can get away with it. But painted forests. This area over here is parkland, which is just a different colour with a different tree on it, very scattered. Sunny side, here we go, we're coming into East Grinstead now. That's the railway line through there. And this has an interesting station arrangement here with an over and an under. So you've got a railway line that comes across, right? And this one that goes up, keeps going up through here. But the over under there at East Grinstead, and I've actually marked out the 1890 streets in here. Haven't yet built the towns, but here we go. Wilderness Lake. What's with the bit in the water there, the roads in the water? Look, they have to go after I put all the trees in, and the roads that come in for the rivers, they have to be deleted. They're all invisible roads at the moment. We come up to Lingfield, that's it. And we'll have another quick look from a few thousand feet up. Unfortunately, the frame rate's not the best at the moment, so it's a bit juddery, but you got a good idea of everything that's going on here with those rivers and the forests and the roads, and I thoroughly enjoyed making this map, and it is going to be so beautiful to go on a train ride along the line here. There's the line. Yep. Going to be great to go along that with a train ride. Yep. A little tunnel just here. Oh, and there's another branch that heads off down there that doesn't exist anymore. This one still does. This is the Bluebell Railway line. Lovely. Through a tunnel there. Yes. West Heathley. Can't see. Sharpthorne. Yeah, painting the names on there helps. I'm not going to leave them there once I build the towns, but it helps me work out where the hell I'm going. Oh, that's a farm, is it? No, that's going to be a food processing thing, I think. But you can see where I've been able to determine where the sort of quarries were and where the brickworks were, which is quite amazing, the old brickworks. So, yep, I'm going to use that info. There's a gap here. Ah, look, that's probably fine. There's probably farms there. Okie dokie. East Grinstead, there's the over-under railway line again. Beautiful country. Yeah, I tell you what, I got sick and tired of doing those rivers. Oh my God, there were so many squillions of them. And it looks like you haven't quite finished that part of the map yet. No. Got a lot more to do on this still. But just to let you know, these are in the pipeline. There's another one that I'm going to be working on as well. Pembrokeshire. I'm going to have a go at that. That looks to be a very interesting one. It's got a nice little bay and rivers going up the middle of it as well. So that's the progress on all of the real world maps for you. Shrewsbury, God almighty, somewhere in Somerset, and the Fenlands. Currently all well underway. You've got nothing to do with your time, have you, Steve? No, I don't. That's the whole point of being retired. I can do this stuff that I thoroughly enjoy doing and thoroughly enjoy being creative as possible here. And it's problem solving as well, like trying to work out where the hell I am from looking at those dotty little height maps. And this is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. This is an old river course here. I'm just showing the gravel. And this is the current river course. Why have we not got water? Because, look, it's, where is it? 13 metres. No. Well, does it give you a representation of a river? Because that's all that matters. There are hundreds of the damn things on here. Let's have a little look, actually. All of those are currently invisible roads. Now, the roads are there so that I could paint the trees along the river. That was the whole point. Because trees don't stick to roads, which means once I've finished that task, I can come in and I can delete all of the invisible roads because we don't want to be charged for maintenance and blah, 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 blah. And we don't want the AI building on them. And yeah, it could be a problem taking them over and turning them into urban streets, for example. No, not going to happen, baby. So look at all the river. It's fascinating watching some of these where they come from. They come from down here at Forest Row and wind all the way up to East Grin. That's not the longest one. This is pretty long. All the way down to there. Oh, and there's a dirty great big hill through the middle of the map. Right, yeah, through there, along that road there. Okay, a ridge. Yep, and on this side, rivers flow south, and on this side, they flow northish. Anyway, that's my progress on all of these real world maps. I do hope you've thoroughly enjoyed the update. I thoroughly enjoyed making them. Newick. Is it pronounced Newick or Newick? I think it's Newick, isn't it? Who knows? But Sheffield Park, it's going to be great. You should check the Bluebell Railway on the interwebs for details about this line that runs all the way along here. It stops at this point. It used to go further south down here. And again, what we can do on the extremities, whack in some extra sidings down the bottom, right? And where is... no, keep coming up. Went too far. King's Coat, no. Sharp, no. You didn't go too far. Here, this line, it doesn't exist anymore, but whack in some sidings over here at Ardingly. Right. And this line that comes down, well, let's bring in the lines then. This line that comes down, I don't know, I have no idea where it goes, but sidings here. Turn this into a goods hub, right? And this one, Rofant station is just that way with the brickworks and a few other things. Put some sidings there. That's all wrong. Yeah, look, stop picking on me. I'll fix that. And up the top of the map, past Lingfield. Again, more sidings. And then you can start bringing freight in from all over the place. Why not? You can add them. Sure. I really want to play this one. Really. Yeah, well, I want to put a railway line in here and ride a train through it at least. Let's see what happens. Got some people that are mad keen on already on playing it, so good luck to them. And hooroo from me. Goodbye from him. And I'll see you lot next time around. Okay, bye for now. Bye.